We're now going to be speaking with Daniel Miller. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a native Washingtonian. I grew up here in Federal Way. I've been a longtime Federal Way resident for at least 40 to 45 years. Attended the grade school, junior high, graduated from Federal Way High School in 1985. So I've seen our community grow from a small suburban community of about maybe 70,000, located strategically between Tacoma and Seattle, to incorporation in 1990 to now more of an urban city of about 100,000 residents. So we are facing urban issues. We've got the transit center, and we've got the Link Light Rail coming in about two and a half years. So I am familiar with the growth of the city. I've seen different businesses come and go in this city. And so the city has taken on a different phase, so to speak, in terms of the problems that we are facing here right now in the foreseeable future.
So why did you decide to run for city council?
I decided to run for a city council position because I did not like the direction the city is heading in. I learned about earlier this year of the county-led needle exchange program, and I was unaware of that. And being a longtime resident, I asked myself, how come I was not aware of that? Maybe that was because I was preoccupied with my own schedule and my own life, so to speak. And then also, earlier this summer, learning about the county coming in and purchasing 2 Federal Way hotels to house the drug-addicted homeless. And I know the homeless issue has been an issue for quite some time, it seems like. And unfortunately, the county has done that with other cities as well. They've purchased 1 in Auburn, 1 in Redmond, 1 in Renton, 2 in Seattle. So it looks like Seattle or King County in general is trying to outsource their homeless problem to the suburban communities. And one of the reasons I believe the voters in 1990 voted for incorporation is they wanted better representation, and they felt that King County was not representing them. And it seems like this is what's going on right now.
Yes.
King County is not listening to the Federal Way residents. It seems like very few members on the council are standing up to King County. The mayor apparently certainly is not standing up to King County, and nobody's standing up for the residents of Federal Way. So that's why I'm running, because I want to stand up for the residents of Federal Way, not to King County.
What qualities and experience would you bring to the city council?
Being a lifetime, or not a lifetime, but a long-time member of the city, or not member, but resident of the city. So familiarity with the region. I have some background in financial services. I'm good with numbers. You know, I'm a limited government type of person, meaning I look at what are the essential functions of city government. And I even said this in the voters pamphlet in the primary election. Basically, you need police, you need municipal courts, and you need roads. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we all have to live on a family budget. We all know what the essentials are. And any extra money is discretionary income. And if you don't have that discretionary income, you should not engage in an activity or spend money on something that's not an essential. And so I think I bring a fiscal conservatism, approach to the budget. I've also had some experience working in marketing and manufacturing. So I think I can help I think I can help the business community maybe try to bring some jobs, some businesses here to Federal Way.
Okay. And what do you feel is the biggest issue Federal Way is facing today?
I believe the biggest issue is public safety. As alluded to just recently, we have a homeless crisis. And you've got to separate the types of homeless people, because I'm sure most people would agree we can help those people who maybe have fallen on hard economic times. But somebody who's drug addicted homeless, most people that I've talked to while canvassing do not want to enable a drug addict that's not willing to get help. And this is public money being used. I'm all for helping families who have fallen on economic times, or maybe people who are suffering from mental or behavioral disorders. Maybe we can help them with treatment and getting them back on their feet and being productive members of society. But the drug addicted person that refuses treatment and does not want to be helped, we've got to make sure that if they don't want to be helped, then this may sound tough, but they should go to jail, because that just is going to enable them to continue with their drug addiction. It's going to, I believe, lead to more crime. It's going to attract more homeless people and more drug dealing.
So what is your plan?
Well, first of all, my first issue is police. Obviously, we have a police shortage. In listening to some of the city council meetings of recent weeks, we are short officers, at least 13. In fact, I talked with an officer today. We actually are even need more. I've seen the ratio should be up to, we should have 150 officers. So number one, my plan would be hire at least 13 more officers. I was told we have 137. By hiring 13 would be up to 150, but the person I talked to today, who is a police officer, said we actually even need more because we're down to like 127. So number one, my plan would be hire more officers. He also mentioned too, though, the key is to retain them. And I know the current city council has dealt with this recent issue about how do we attract more police officers. Well, give them hiring bonuses, give them a police car to take home. So that's one part of my plan. Number two, we need to get our representatives here in the 30th district to revisit the legislation that they passed this past legislative session that deal with the police reform laws. It's going to make it harder, as of right now, it's making it harder for the police to do their jobs. It deals two specific bills, House Bill 1054 and House Bill 1320, I believe are the numbers. Deals with use of force and police chases. Now the threshold is even higher. So you or I could go into Target, shoplift, run, and that's going to inhibit, because of the new police law, the reform laws that were passed, it's going to make it harder for police to chase down the suspect. So I guess I would encourage my legislators to try to convince the governor to call a special session, and then they can work with the city council people to revisit those police reform laws so they can be changed, so that you're not, no pun intended, handcuffing police which is making their job do harder. So those are just two things those would probably be the two things I would focus on the most. And then the third thing is give police the authority to crack down on the homeless problem. Cleaning up the encampments, finding out the drug addicted people, and not letting them continue with their destructive behavior. And holding them accountable. If they break the law, just like you or I, they should be sent to jail.
Thank you. And so how does your plan differ from your opponent's?
That's a good question. I don't know what his specific plan is, although just in hearing him talk at the city council meetings, he is in agreement, I believe, of hiring more officers. I know in the past he's been somewhat hesitant to maybe approve more funding for police, because he thought that the police were getting more overtime. And one of the first questions I asked was, well, why are they getting more overtime? Because we were having a police shortage. So I don't think he was, at least, maybe this was a couple years ago, did not like the idea that the city was spending too much overtime for police. So I don't know honestly, I don't know what his specific plan is. He may say that he's also for public safety, but I will let you know that he is endorsed by Jesse Johnson, our 30th District representative, who co-sponsored these police reform laws, okay? And I don't know if he's happy about that endorsement, but I wouldn't want to be endorsed by anybody that was for these police reform laws. And then lastly, I don't know if he wanted to, if he was, even though the city council didn't eventually take this measure up, he may have been in favor of a police oversight board. And that's something I just am totally against, because I think that's a backdoor way to potentially defund the police, and that's something that I would be totally against.
Okay, thank you. And so why should people vote for you?
Good question. I'm familiar with the city. I'm a longtime resident. I am going to put the residents of Federal Way first. I don't like the fact that King County is coming in and usurping the council members' autonomy, because like I mentioned earlier, the residents of Federal Way in 1990 voted for incorporation because I believe that they were not being fully represented. And I think the city council needs to have the ability to act autonomously to make these and deal with these public safety issues themselves, instead of having King County dictate what the city needs to be done, especially regarding the homeless issue or purchasing these hotels or the needle exchange program. That's one of the things I'm going to try to do is, and if I can convince other city council members to go along with me, I'm willing to even litigate or possibly challenge those issues, the purchase of the 2 hotels and the needle exchange program, which again are county-led programs. I'm willing to challenge those and take it to court and see what the courts decide, because again, that renders the city council not necessarily meaningless, but ineffective to act autonomously in dealing with those decisions, and just letting the county come in and dictate what needs to be done regarding those.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you coming.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.